What's the truth about Ryan Day? The Truth Teller series continues around here. We've been trying to tell the truth a lot. I want to tell the truth about Ryan Day. I have a sentence written on the piece of paper here in front of me, and it says, the truth about Ryan Day hasn't changed whatsoever recently, which I know will draw disagreement. Because it looks like a lot has changed about Ryan Day recently. And I will grant you his Wikipedia change has been evident. His resume change has been evident. He is a national championship winning head coach now. He wasn't that this time 8 months ago. So a lot's changed, Josh. Well, that's true. However, I don't feel like he's any different a coach today than he was 5 months ago, 10 months ago. Honestly, I feel about the same as I did about him 2 years ago. But it is true. If you're strictly results oriented, yes, the truth about Ryan Day has changed. It'd be really fun if we were in a debate class, which we have at Pate State. You can major in debate here. But if we were presenting Ryan Day as the debate topic in class, it'd be so fun. Because if you were halfway decent at debate, you just choose whichever side. In fact, you could give your opponent the option. Do you want to be pro or anti-Ryan Day? I'll just take the other side. Because it's so easy. It's so easy. Here's how it would sound. Someone would say, Ryan Day's proven himself now. He's won the national championship. He's erased all doubt. And I could say, well, yeah, but by the old standard, he would have fallen flat on his face again last year. They lost 2 games in the regular season. The only thing that saved him was he got to back in because of a new playoff format and then went on a hot streak that they should have looked like all year. And then you say, yeah, but that doesn't matter. Everyone played by the same rules. He won a championship that everyone had equal access to. And I would say, yeah, he sure did, but doesn't it feel a little hollow? You've still got that hole in your chest here that can only be filled by beating your rival, which he's failed to do for the better part of half a decade, which is a really, really extreme way to say 4 years. Better part of half a decade. That's like saying a quarter of $1,000. Well, it's $250, man. A quarter of $1,000, though, sounds so much better. Anyway, you get the point there. We could trash Ryan Day, we could praise Ryan Day, we could be the same person. I remember a couple of years ago down there in the Peach Bowl, New Year's Eve, right there at the stroke of midnight, still one of the wildest things about that game was they missed that field goal at 12 midnight. 12:31 turns into 1-1, and Ohio State misses that field goal. If they hit the field goal, they go on to, I would guess, beat TCU. And they win the national title a couple of years ago. And people are saying what they're saying about him now 2 years ago. Point being, Ryan Day's just been a stud for a long time to me. And let me cut in really quick and ask, look, prayer hands, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you think you're subscribed, check and make sure. Over 50% of you aren't. It's free, it doesn't sign you up for anything, and it helps us keep the show free, college football year-round, the way God intended it. All right, back to the clip. Had people, because you care about different things maybe, which is your prerogative, they've doubted him, they've called him into question. Harbaugh said what he said about him. I don't know. I've just believed in his process. I've believed in the way they go about doing things. I don't know how you deny it. Of course, like the win-loss stuff, he's 70-10. He's entering year 7. Speaking of the number 7, you know, in 7 years, he'll still be younger than Nick Saban was when Saban won his first title. He's 46 years old. Saban was 53, I think, or 52, 53, when he won his first of 7 national titles. So just to give you an idea, I say that about Lanning a lot too. All these guys who are in their late 30s, early 40s, and people are already calling them busts or labeling them. Like the greatest of all time was 53 when he won his first title. And that's not a story from the 40s. That's a story from the 2000s and teens and 20s. I do think, though, whatever you think about Ryan Day, whatever you think about last season, up to the Michigan game, whatever you think about that, I think even his detractors have to admit it's an all-time gut check moment. Whether you think it's pathetic they lost to Michigan or whatever, I don't care. But from the time the clock hit zeros, you can't change anything about it. So they just lost to Michigan. Their season's not over. They're going to go to the playoff. And to think about, no matter how much talent you have in the room, how hard it was to get that organization back up, knowing you just got your heart ripped out. and to get them ready to play like they didn't just waltz into the playoff and go like autopilot. They played, like their lives depended on it. That's how they played. They played in a manner that made everyone say, where was that against Michigan? Had you done this against Michigan, then you wouldn't have had a problem against them. That's a gut check moment. And I would imagine it, in fact, I don't have to imagine it. I know it was a gut check for him personally. It was a gut check for the family. Again, his haters have to admit that. I don't know what the haters are really saying right now at this particular point in time. But the truth about Ryan Day, I may be a little different on this, is I don't really feel much different about him than I have for a while because I was really not down on him. But then you get to this point, and so then you get to see him this upcoming year, and you get to see him deal for the first time with fighting complacency. But the good news for them is so much of that team left, as we've talked about. You got a bunch of people who are going to start or at the very least contribute for them this year that did not play an instrumental role in winning that national title last year, which just means you get to, figuratively, it's 2025, so figuratively, you get to grab folks by the shirt sleeve in the locker room and say, what do you think you've accomplished? If you got a bunch of returning starters, it's harder to do that. Now, as much as we may believe that Ohio State has to hit reset in many ways, our friends at FanDuel, as Colin is showing you on the screen right now, got him as the favorite to win a national championship this year. You heard me right. The favorite to win the whole thing.